Chandu, the magician. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We present for your enjoyment Chandu, the magician. Before our drama starts, we would like to ask you a question. Had you noticed, perhaps, how difficult it was to buy White King in the years we've just passed through? There were other kinds of soaps on grocers' shelves, often in abundance, but seemingly so little White King. Well, White King is made largely from precious nut and vegetable oils. These were scarce. We couldn't begin to fill demand for our soap, and we wouldn't sacrifice quality. The ladies who are our customers are intelligent people. And so, when a package of White King did appear on a grocer's shelf, it was quickly bought and taken home and treasured as perhaps no other soap has ever been. Maybe you haven't tried this different kind of soap. It will do so much of your work for you that you too will say, I love White King soap. Frank Chandler, known in the Far East as Chandu the Magician, has learned of an unknown menace to his widowed sister, Dorothy Reagent, and her 2 children in America. Unexpectedly, he arrives at their home in Beverly Hills. There, he discovers that one wing of the house contains the library and laboratory of Dorothy's husband, an internationally famous scientist. But the underground rooms have been locked since Regent's death at sea 9 years ago. Searching them, Chandler finds that important drawings and formulas have somehow been stolen. Chandu, the magician.
Don't look like that, Mother. You couldn't help it.
Oh, yes, I could. I could have destroyed everything in here years ago. But no. I just turned the key on it and left it. All those dangerous secrets for someone to find.
Well, there's no use wringing your hands about it now, Mom. Well, let's go back upstairs and call the police.
And tell them what, Bob?
Why, tell them we've had a burglar.
But we have no idea what he took. A sheet of paper or a set of blueprints?
We don't even know when the man got in here. Frank, there's nothing we can do, is there?
I hope so. I saw the fellow, you know.
You certainly can't call the police. Tell them you saw the man in a crystal ball away over in India.
Well, this isn't a matter for the police, Dorothy. Look here, let's give this up for tonight. We found out that I was correct in thinking something was wrong here.
That letter of Daddy's sounds as if he was making an atomic bomb or something.
Oh, Betty, don't.
I'm sorry about this, Dot. It would have been hard enough for you to walk in on all of Robert's things, even if we found nothing wrong. Come along, we'll leave the rest for tomorrow.
Well, I still can't see how anyone could have got in here.
And even if they did, how could they find these stairs under the Buddha?
Uncle Frank found them.
Oh, he knew they were here, didn't you, Uncle Frank?
Well, knowing your father, I thought he might make use of the Buddha.
He must have been quite a guy. I never realized it before.
Turn off the lights down there, would you, Bob?
I will.
Well, show me how the Buddha works.
Well, you just press this bronze lotus here, the third from the right.
Oh, I see.
It's just an electrical contact.
Uh-huh.
The statue turns around so the pedestal covers the stairway.
Oh, yeah.
You'd never know the stairs were there at all.
Unless Dad told somebody.
Well, he surely wouldn't go to all that trouble to hide the stairway and then tell someone.
Hey, what's that?
It's the sound we heard before. Frank, where are you going?
Come on, all of you. Hurry.
Where?
Into the living room. It's the psychic summoner.
Oh, no, Frank, please.
And don't be afraid. You'll probably hear it often. It means there's a message for me.
Look at the crystal ball over there. It's kind of shining, as if there was a light inside.
Now sit down quietly, everyone. Look into the crystal.
The picture comes up in the glass like developing a film.
It's a room. An oriental room somewhere.
Egypt.
How do you know, Uncle Frank?
I just know, Betty. There she is.
The woman coming through the door.
In regular Egyptian clothes.
Even to the veil.
And, Mother, those bracelets. And that wonderful necklace. Oh, she's cute.
Do you know her, Frank?
It's not, Jim.
The princess who gave you the emerald ring you gave Mother?
Yes.
Oh,
But I don't understand this. What message is there here for me?
She's just sitting there on a divan thing like she was waiting for somebody.
Oh, I see now. There's a man coming into the room.
What an evil face. Gray.
and really wicked. Do you know who he is, Uncle Frank?
No. This must mean something to me, or I wouldn't have received the summons.
I have told you I will have nothing to do with it, nor will you. My service is for my country. Your plans are for yourself.
And why not? Who else can measure up to me? You think I have spent my life in endless experiments to learn what I know, only to abandon it or present it to someone else?
I will not discuss it, Roxor. You and I have been like two travelers on a road together. But now the road divides. I will not go your way.
Suppose I insist. Suppose I demand.
Of me? You have forgotten who I am.
Ah, you're only a woman. Weak, sentimental.
It is like you to mistake decency for weakness. You are...
I am Roxor. Never forget it.
What does that mean, Frank?
Yes, you are Roxor, but you are not all-powerful. And I will tell you something, my friend. Everyone seems to fear you, but I do not. Men bend before you like wheat in the wind, but I do not.
If you will not bend, then you shall break. You think you can stand in my way now? Whoever has, think. Rousing for Richmond, the Chaumas, Vanderhoff, they won't stand up. They've all been swept away.
Be more quiet. You cannot frighten me. I will say only this to remind you. What of the American?
The American?
Has he been swept away? Has he bent or broken? You know it is not so.
The American. Yes, he still resists. You can still fling his name at me and mock me. The time is coming soon when he too will break at last. I will have the means soon. Do you hear me? Regent can be forced to death.
Oh! He said Regent. You heard him, Frank.
Yes, I heard.
Oh, why do I always break the spell, or whatever it is that makes it possible for us to see those things? Can't you bring the picture back?
It's no use, Dorothy. You're too upset. The only time you can ever see anything in the crystal is when your mind is calm.
But that man did say something about Robert.
He sounded as if Daddy was still alive.
He sure did, but that doesn't mean he is.
Oh, he seemed so certain. And the princess did, too. Don't you know who he is, Frank?
No. Roxor, Nadji called him. It sounds like a coined name. As if...
As if what?
Well, if it's spelled R-O-X-O-R as it sounds, it's spelled the same forward and backward. It's a very ancient trick of sorcerers.
Sorcerers? You mean black magic?
Exactly.
I don't see why we have to get all mixed up in black magic and everything all of a sudden. It scares me.
I don't wonder, darling. But if there's any possibility that your father's still alive, we want to know it, don't we?
Why, yes, of course, Mother. Only
Frank, can't you send a cable to the princess or something?
Well, I haven't heard from Nadji for years, Dot. I don't even know where she is.
Can't you find out?
In time, I probably could.
Then why don't you?
Wait a moment. Dot, just what proof did you have of Robert's death?
Why, first a letter from the steamship line. They checked all the passengers, of course, after the sinking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the war had just broken out. I think the Athenia was one of the first ships sunk by the Germans.
Well, I was up in the mountains of Kashmir at that time. When I came down to New Delhi, I got your letters. That was the first I'd known of Robert's death.
I remember. Well, I even went to New York. Great many of the survivors had been brought there. But nobody had seen him. Oh, it can't be possible he's alive.
if he was, why wouldn't he have written to us?
Well, I told you down there in Dad's room, maybe he had amnesia or something.
Well, even if he had, Bob, if he'd been pulled out of the sea, it would have been reported to the steamship line or the British government.
Oh.
Well, then, what did the princess and that Roxor mean?
It seems to me I'd better go over and find out.
Go clear over to Egypt?
Yes, why not?
But you said you didn't know where the princess was.
I don't. But the last time I saw her, she was in Alexandria. I could go there first and try to find out where she is now.
And if Robert is alive, she might know where he is.
And besides, I might be able to get back those formulas before...
Before what, Uncle Frank?
Let's say before they fall into the wrong hands.
But for Pete's sake, what makes you think they're over in Egypt?
I have a very good reason.
Oh, yeah? What is it, Uncle Frank?
I can't talk about it.
Why not?
Someday, perhaps, Bob.
I wish we could go with you, but I suppose it's out of the question.
Why, not at all.
Honest? Could we really, Mother?
School is out now, so there's no reason why we shouldn't if Uncle Frank wants to bother with us.
Oh, I hope you're not kidding.
About a thing like this? Frank, you know how it would be sitting here and wondering every moment whether you'd had any word of Robert or if he's really alive and maybe ill somewhere.
I think you're quite right.
Then first thing in the morning we'll call about reservations.
And see about passports. Oh, that'll take a while, won't it?
Not necessarily. And don't worry about reservations, Dot.
What? The way bookings are now?
We may not need them.
Gee, are you going to charter a plane just for us, Uncle Frank?
I don't think so, Betty. We may need faster transportation than that, you know.
Frank Chandler, do you mean some sort of this magic of yours?
I didn't say that, Dorothy.
You certainly implied it, and I don't know, but I like it.
Well, then let's say no more about it tonight. You had enough talk of the occult for one evening.
But I want to know what you mean.
All I mean is, if it's necessary for us to be somewhere else, well, that's the way it will be.
You sound so serious.
And you look as if you thought I were out of my mind.
Well, I don't know what to think.
You've read of people who have become involved in mysticism and presently White can't sane. Is that it?
Well, yes, it is.
Don't be afraid, Dan. I know perfectly well why I was permitted to learn the things I have. And I may need every power I can command before we're through with this business. I see that now.
Rather. And here, Betty and I thought you'd turn out to be a square making with dribble glasses for
Oh,
laughs.
keep still, Bob.
You thought what?
For once, I'm glad to hear that kind of talk. It sounds so normal. Come now, all of you. We're going to bed, and no more talk of magic or mystery tonight.
Oh, I'm much too excited to go to sleep.
Even if you thought you'd wake up in Egypt?
Frank, please.
All right. Listen, Dot. First, we go upstairs. I'll turn out the lights when I come up.
No, you don't, Uncle Frank. I heard it, too.
Heard what?
A noise out there in the garden. Oh, there it is again.
Turn off the lights, Bob, quick.
How do you like that? A guy with a turban on his head.
Just outside the window. I bet he heard everything we said. Uncle Frank, be careful.
Stay where you are, all of you.
Come on, I'll have to catch him, Uncle Frank.
No, stay here, Bob. Let him go. I know who he is. And now he knows we all saw him.
Oh, for heaven's sake, call the police, Frank.
We don't need them, Dot. But this settles it. We'll have to leave here at once.
Before we bring to a close our drama this evening, may I say something to the ladies on the subject of hands? There is an extra special quality in White King soap that is extra specially kind to hands. And I'll tell you what it is. If you use the kind of soap that needs hot water to make it work, your hands are liable to be rough and red, no matter what kind of soap it is, or what claims are made for it, or what it contains. But listen, White King, with its nut and vegetable oils, doesn't need hot water. In washing machine or dishpan, for heavy clothes or filmy, fragile things, White King washes the dirt away in water that's just about body temperature. Ever hear of anything like that? No wonder millions and millions of ladies say, I love White King soap. That's what you'll say, too. Chandu the Magician is produced and directed by Cyril Umbrister. The makers of White King invite you to listen tomorrow at this time when the story resumes. Chandu the Magician. This is the Mutual Don Lee Broadcasting System.
Welcome to our Old Time Radio podcast. I'm Wayne, your host. These podcasts are sponsored by OldTimeRadioPage.com. Okay, turn up the volume, sit back and listen. Here's episode 4 of Chandu the Magician.
Chandu the Magician.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We present for your enjoyment Chandu, the magician. And before our drama begins, we would like to suggest that probably you will like White King better than any other soap you have ever used. If you have a washing machine, listen. Get some White King from your grocer. Put some in your washer. Not so much, mind you, as the soap you've been using. Put in your clothes. Put in the water, but not so hot as the water you thought you had to have to get things clean. Then turn on the power. Run your wash through and just see with your own eyes what happens. We try to make this radio drama thrilling, but honestly, what a thrill you'll have when you see clothes washed with this different kind of soap. Save on your soap bill. Save on your gas bill. Save on your clothes bill. You'll say, I love White King granulated soap. Frank Chandler is an adept in the mystic secrets of the Far East, where he is known as Chandu, the magician. In India, by his occult powers, he is able to see a sinister, dark-skinned man near the home of Chandler's widowed sister, Dorothy Reagent, in California. Arriving suddenly in Beverly Hills, he learns that the rooms of Dorothy's husband, Robert, have been locked since his death at sea 9 years ago. Chandler insists on searching the locked wing. Regent's valuable secret drawings and formulas have disappeared. Then, in a crystal ball, the family is shown a room in Egypt where an evil-looking man calling himself Roxor speaks of Robert Regent as if he were still alive. A moment later, Chandler discovers in the garden the sinister, turbaned figure who had brought him halfway across the world. Instantly, Chandler decides to go to Egypt at once. The present scene is a narrow street in the city of Alexandria. Chandu, the magician.
Hey, Uncle Frank, what's that guy carrying over his shoulder?
It's a goat skin full of lemonade.
Oh, let's get some.
Drink out of those dirty tin cups? Betty.
Oh, Mother. And may I have that cute pair of red slippers with the turned-up toes? Aren't they darling?
So which ones, Betty? All the shops seem to have them by the dozen.
I mean those, right there hanging on the wall across the street.
Oh.
If you can call it a street.
More like an alley.
Just be sure to bargain if you're going to buy anything, any of you. It's the only way to get a fair price over here.
You're right at home here, aren't you, Uncle Frank?
Why wouldn't he be?
I feel like I'm a long way from home.
Yeah. And I can't see how he got here so quick.
Neither can I. It seems like yesterday we were sitting there in the living room seeing the princess in the crystal ball, talking to that horrible man, and he said something about Daddy.
Well, let's not talk about that now. Frank, can we go into that little cafe and have some coffee? It smells awfully good.
Well, no, Dorothy. You see,
Why not?
nice women don't visit native cafes over here. We can go back to the hotel if you like.
Oh, no, not yet. We just got here.
Uncle Frank, how did we get to Egypt so soon?
Why worry about that, Bob? Who knows what yesterday really means?
Well, it means 24 hours ago, doesn't it?
Does it? Oh, look, down here's a shop where they serve coffee to their customers. Shall we go in?
Oh, yes, let's do. There's a brass bowl I'd like. I want to tell you something, Frank. I'll get rid of the children for a minute. Bob, you go across to that shop with Betty while she buys some slippers. We'll wait here for you.
Oh, okay. But you'll have to carry them yourself. I'm not going to lug stuff all over town. It's too hot.
All right, Dad, what is it? You're not going to begin to ask questions about how we got here, I hope.
No, although I don't understand it any more than Bob and Betty do. Frank, a man has been following us ever since we turned into this street.
I know. He's leaning against the doorway of the pastry stall.
What?
Don't turn around or he'll suspect we're talking about him.
Well, what can he want?
Maybe just to keep us inside. Look down as if you were examining this embroidery. Look interested.
Well, I'll try. He can't be the man the princess called Roxor. I'd know that face anywhere.
No, this fellow's nothing like him.
Is he still there?
Yes. Don't look up, Todd. Wait a minute.
Oh, don't go away, Frank.
I won't. Not yet. Here, let's sit on the leather cushions like real customers. The shopkeeper will be here in a moment. You know, I wish I'd come back from India sooner.
Oh, now don't blame yourself, Frank. If you hadn't spent all that time studying in India, you'd never have known anything was wrong. Besides, it's done and we can't change it now.
As the Arabs say.
What?
They have a saying, leave the ashes of your fire behind you in the desert. Look forward to the oasis.
Oh, you're making that up to take my mind off of going home.
Nothing of the kind.
Oh, I know. You always... Oh!
What is it?
Has he been standing there all the time?
Oh, it's just the shopkeeper.
Oh.
Ben Ali, we want to look at the... Well, you're not Ben Ali.
No, Effendi. Ben Ali has gone to make his pilgrimage to Mecca. The Effendi and the lady will have coffee while I bring beautiful silk.
Thank you. Well, didn't Ben Ali leave a message for me?
No, Effendi.
Oh, that's strange.
How could he have known you were coming here, Frank?
Perhaps Ben Ali believed you come much later when he is here.
Well, perhaps. At any rate, this is my sister, Mrs. Reagent, and those two young people coming across the street are her son and daughter.
Regent? Regent?
Yes. Does that surprise you?
Oh, Effendi, it is a strange name in Egypt. I will bring sweetmeats and coffee.
Yes, please do. And later, I want to talk to you alone.
As you will, Effendi.
I got the slippers, Mother, see? And do you know what?
No, dear, what?
When the man told me the price, I bargained with him like mad because Uncle Frank said
Well,
to.
just a minute, will you, Betty?
Oh.
Dorothy, you're facing the street. Is the man we saw following us still there? Careful, don't make too much of it.
No, he's gone, Frank.
It may have been someone I should see.
Hey, what is this? We've missed something, Vets.
What happened, Uncle Frank?
Yeah, we'll tell you later. Dorothy, would you mind waiting here while I cross the street to see if I could find him?
Why, no, of course not, Frank.
Well, don't worry, Uncle Frank. I'll keep an eye on Mom and Betty.
I'll buy a few things while we're waiting. We'll be right here.
Fine. I won't be long.
Oh, Mother, doesn't this absolutely send you? Alexandria. You know what it looks like?
What do you think?
A movie set. And up there behind the latticed windows, maybe there's a beautiful girl held captive by a big fat man with a curved sword.
Oh, Betty, must you be so gruesome?
Why, Mother, you're not afraid, are you, darling? Right here in broad daylight?
Oh, no, of course not. Well, let's look around a little. The shopkeeper's gone to bring us some coffee, but we can select a few things while we wait.
Yes, let's. Bob, can you put these slippers in your pocket so I won't have to carry them?
Now, I told you I wasn't going to be a pack horse, Betty.
Please.
Oh, all right. Give 'em here.
Thanks. Mother, did Uncle Frank go to ask that man where Princess Naji is?
Hush, dear. I don't think we should talk about that where anyone might hear us. We'll ask him about it when we get back to the hotel.
Then maybe he'll bring her to see us. Imagine a real princess.
Well, I don't care whether she's a real princess or not if she knows anything about your father.
Well, we don't either. I guess you think we don't seem much interested in finding Dad, but we are. Only we can't remember much about him.
I can hardly remember him at all, Mother. And it's all mixed up with what you've told us and the picture of him in your room at home.
I can remember Dad telling me a story about a boy that got into a lot of exciting stuff. He always waited for me to ask the kid's name, and then he'd say... Well, I can remember just how he did it. He always said, his name, son, was Robert Reagent.
Oh!
What's that?
I am very sorry, Sister of the Effendi. I am clumsy. I knock bowl from shelf. Very sorry to frighten you.
Oh, it's all right.
It's the very bowl you wanted to buy, isn't it, Mother? Why don't you get it so we'll be ready to go when Uncle Frank comes back?
Yes, all right.
Hey, look, a double-edged knife in a red leather case. It's sharp, and I do mean sharp.
Oh, the case is beautiful, all embroidered in gold thread.
Well, what about it, Mom? Okay if I get it?
Find out how much it is.
Look, how much is this knife?
Oh, young Effendi, you choose the finest knife in shop. Ben Ali bought it from young Bedouin who sell it for love of lady.
Did he really? What happened?
Young Bedouin love poor young girl. He rich. Many fine horses, many camels. father not know he love poor young girl. Young Bedouin come to Alexandria, follow girls, sell everything. Saddle, hunting belt, all.
The poor lug.
At last, he have only his knife. Ben Ali buy it from him. Perhaps it killed many men. Who knows?
Oh, put it down, Bob.
He's only kidding, aren't you? You don't mean it was true.
I only telling story for please young lady.
Oh, well, let's get our things together, shall we?
You like beautiful rug of silk made for prayer toward Mecca?
Yes, I don't mind looking at it. Is it this one?
No, sister of the Effendi. Ben Ali keeps such beautiful rugs in upper room. You like to come up and see them?
Let's do, Mother.
Oh, wait, let's see if Uncle Frank is coming. I don't see him.
We'll only be a few minutes.
Well, I suppose they're very expensive.
Yes, worth much money. Take many years to make. Some are old, 405, many years.
Oh, I'd like to see what it's like up there. Come on, Mom, what can we lose?
Yes, Mother. Isn't this fun? Like a story.
Well, you're not scared, are you, Mom? We're right here on the street.
Oh, no, of course not. Which way do we go?
Through this curtain. Walk upstairs, please. I come up after you.
Shall I go first, Mom?
All right.
Goodness, it's dark after the bright sunlight in the street.
Oh, it'll be light when we get up there.
Where's Mrs. Regent and her children?
They have gone to upper room to look at beautiful rugs, Effendi. Your sister say I am to ask you come also.
Oh, very well.
Through the curtain. You see the stairs, Effendi?
Yes, thanks. I see them.
Regent. And with them Chandu, the magician. By the sacred mule of the prophet, Roxor will reward me well.
Our drama has come to a close until tomorrow night. But there's drama and maybe magic in millions of homes where White King soap is used. Once upon a time, people thought they should buy 2 or 3 kinds of soap. One for washing machine and dishpan, maybe 1 or 2 for dainty things like lingerie and stockings. But more and more people discovered White King, the one and only soap you ever need, no matter who you are, where you live, or what you have to wash. Your husband may be an engineer, or he may work in a bank. You may have sheets and pillowcases no end to wash, or you may live in a hotel with no laundering problem other than your nylons. Listen to these wonderful words. White King gets out the stubbornest dirt. White King protects as with a caress the daintiest fabrics. Know what you'll say, do you? You'll say this: I love White King. Chandu the Magician is presented for your enjoyment every weekday evening. Your announcer is Howard Culver. The makers of White King invite you to listen tomorrow at this time when the story resumes. Chandu the Magician. This is the Mutual Don Lee Broadcasting System.
Visit our website at oldtimeradiopage.com for more shows on CD and cassette. If you see something on the website you'd like to hear, email us at podcast@oldtimeradiopage.com and let us know. We'll see if we can get it on for you. See you next time for more Old Time Radio. Would you like a shout out? Leave a comment in the section below. Tell me who you want to shout out to, who you want to shout out from, and we'll get it up here for you. Hey, we want to say thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe so you don't miss any. You got a lot more of these up there. Go check them out under the playlist. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you want to see, what you think, and we'll see you next time.